Well, I promised an update, so here's one. We look like we're going to have an unending upside to the Dow here. I think that it's quite clear that the quantitative easing they're going to keep doing it forever. I don't think that they're going to stop, and why should they? I don't know, they've already proven that they can take from us whenever they need to, so why would they, stop printing? I think that something's been missed here in this whole bailout. Quantifying it. $700 billion. What is that? They throw the B word around like it's nothing, and now the T word. But I think it's important that people understand how much $700 billion actually is. So we understand what exactly we, the people, gave to the banks. So let's take one example. 700 billion is roughly equivalent to all of the silver ever mined in the history of human civilization. Okay? All of it. At today's prices, we gave to the banks. Now, can you see that happening at any other time? Like let's say medieval times, if the king came and said, "Hey, I need all your silver. All of it. Every bit." And just took it from all the people and said, "Don't worry, I'll give it back at some point." Now, what would happen? Apparently today, nothing. So, another way of looking at it would be that it would be enough money to put a 5% down payment on every home in the United States. So enough capital for everyone in the United States, every home that exists, to be purchased. Another way of looking at it would be, how about all of the cash in existence? Every $100 bill, every $20 bill, every $5, all the currency, every bit of it, we gave back to the banks. Think about that for a second. All of the money in circulation, all of the physical paper dollar bills, we gave back to the banks so that we could keep the game going. Now, if that happened in a game of Monopoly, I don't know about you, but if you're sitting at the table and one guy's sitting there and he owns virtually everything, right? Virtually everything. He's got every mortgage to almost every property. He's got everything that's on the board. So when you land somewhere, you're paying him, no matter where. And suddenly he finds himself broke. He has no cash. No cash. What do we do with that guy? Let him keep playing? Do we keep playing at that point? Apparently we do. Apparently we all just hand over the cash and there we go again. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what we did. And that's what we're doing. So, okay. Green shoots. Let's take a moment about that. There's green shoots everywhere, right? The recession's over. We're all done. Everything's going to get better. Right? No. Sorry. Let's look at some realities. Take the state of Oregon, for example. 25% of the state, 25% is on food stamps. 25%. That's 1 in every 4 people. Think about that. So, and is that a form of quantitative easing? Sure is. That's money that's coming out that if you go to work every day, you're competing for the same goods and services as the people that get the food stamps. I'm not bagging on the food stamps. I don't want anybody starving. But the point is, the system is screwed up. Right? I mean, that can't go on forever. Let's talk about unemployment benefits. The federal government has extended them. So some people are collecting up to 52 weeks, right? You can actually get it all the way extended up to 90-some weeks. And that's what most people are doing. Most people can't find a job that pays what they were making in the previous economy, and so they're just waiting, till that job comes back. Well, people, you better wake up. Those jobs are not coming back, right? They're not coming back. You can take one computer, one server, and one smart dude and replace 1 million people's sales force. that eliminates not only the people, but also the commercial real estate that was used by those people to facilitate the purchases of goods and services, for that matter. Most of that stuff, especially the goods, is all going to be done on the internet. That's just how it's going to go. So those jobs are gone. Corporations finally woke up and realized it. They were behind the curve quite a bit there. They're like, hey, wait a minute. Sales only went down this much, and we got rid of all those people, and we're still making profit. So who needs them? And they're going to find that more of those, cost savings in the future. So downsizing is going to continue until we get to the point where somebody wakes up and realizes the system doesn't work. Right? I mean, talk about Bernie Madoff's scandal. How does that work? Right? All this money's coming in, all this money's going out, everybody's happy, all of a sudden one day, whoops, that really wasn't a business model, was it? And the current phony money system we have is not going to work either. We're dealing with finite resources, everything out there from oil to gold to silver to food. Actually, food, that's a little different, but the point is, the money supply that we use to transact purchases is infinite. Right? There's no end. It's funny money. Might as well use monopoly dollars. The only reason we don't is because they're too easy to counterfeit. So, if we're all exchanging an infinite supply of something for goods and services that are finite, what happens? At some point, at some exponential growth factor, the thing falls apart. It can't be sustained. It just can't. So, the fact that every fiat currency has failed, every single one, of course ours is going to be different because we're managing it really good. So, one final note. Bernanke, the federal chairman, likes to use the analogy that when we went through this whole TARP thing, that if your neighbor's house catches on fire, and it's next door to yours, and it's going to burn down, and therefore we need to put out the fire and then worry about what's wrong. Okay, that's a great analogy. It kind of got everybody going, yeah, that makes sense. We need to definitely put out the fire. Okay, fire's out, folks. So now let's use that same analogy and figure out exactly what happened. What happened was your neighbor hired someone to financially, watch his house, his financial house, if you will. And the person that he hired set it on fire, okay, which threatened yours and mine and everybody else's. So we put it out, fire's out. Now, who is the person responsible for setting the fire in the first place? Okay? If you hire somebody to watch your house, and you leave, you go about your business, you find out your house burned down, do you rehire the same person to watch the house again in the future? That's what we're doing right now. Okay? Right now, we've hired the same individuals, the Federal Reserve, to watch our financial house, even though they burned the damn thing down. Sorry for the language there. But the point is, something's got to change. If you want to say it wasn't the Federal Reserve, Congress and the Senate didn't have to approve the money, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, what do? I say we elect somebody that has nothing to do with politics at all. And we can do it right here on the internet. Find people who want to run, just average Joes. I want somebody who goes to work every day to run. Alright? Do you know you get a full retirement? If you get into the Senate, you get a full retirement after you serve a term. Full retirement, medical, dental, health, everything paid for, forever. So, let's see, anybody want to run? Go ahead and post. Oh, by the way, I think the silver market is going up, and I think that what we needed was a base. We needed some savers, some people who were going to buy and hold for the long term, and it looks like I thought maybe the U.S. would catch on there and people would start holding, but no, it's going to be China. So you can go Google that and find out how many, where that's coming from. But the Chinese are starting to push silver bullion, so I think we're going up.